Good evening, council members. Some of you have already committed to protecting residents and neighborhoods concerning wireless telecommunications facilities, WTFs. Thank you. And I appreciate Mr. Leventhal's amendment to ZTA 1802, first passed by the Fed Committee. It shields residential neighborhood zones and stipulated that 1802's results be evaluated before subsequent ZTA's consideration. I also appreciate Mr. Elrich having pressed the county executive staff to fix administrative and regulatory problems that have festered for years. The executive staff failed to provide proposed regulations by June as promised. The only proposal you have is this premature, defective ZTA, which eliminates residential protections and imposes deceptive, dangerous, and inappropriate standards. Take utility poles. For replacement poles, the ZTA requires the prior utility pole to be removed within 180 days. That deadline is aspirational. Apparently, DPS cannot meaningfully enforce any removal deadline. And according to staff, nearby utility poles get replaced too. So for each antenna's replacement pole, we could see 3 to 5 sets of double poles. But the only set with the antenna is the one that the ZTA has a deadline for, albeit unenforceable. Safety studies show that additional and thicker poles contribute to traffic injuries and fatalities. So there are legitimate safety reasons to protect our neighborhood roads from unnecessary increases in double poles, new poles, and thicker poles. Eliminating our protective 60-foot dwelling setbacks would usher in more road hazards by giving antennas virtually unfettered access to neighborhood utility poles. The FAQs assure us that all new non-replacement poles get conditional use hearings and require a 300-foot dwelling setback. But for new utility poles, that's not so. Ignoring Assistant County Attorney Royalty's advice, DPS authorizes new utility poles for antennas as permitted and limited uses. DPS helps industry applicants dodge zoning regulations. This ZTA does not protect or respect residents. Tonight, I ask you to keep us safe, preserve our communities, and to first fix the dysfunction. Ensure our fair inclusion and representation and meaningful enforcement of regulatory protections. Consider our comprehensive antennas proposal, CAP, as the foundation for a collaborative solution between residents and county leaders. Please reject this ZTA. Work with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. President. All right. I wanted to ask a question of Mr. Stoddard. Thank you very much for your time.